Hello. Uh-oh. Close that. Here's the Bluetooth. Oh snap! Hey, hello, 6 people in here. Hey y'all. Oh, whoa, they went up real quick. But y'all, this is our first live. I'm working on a glider right now. I found a plan online. We're on YouTube here, actually on YouTube. Being honest, I didn't buy the plan. It was a little expensive, and let's just say it's becoming a little extra. I'm gonna try to get the whole scheme of what I'm doing in there. Like I said, y'all, this is my first live, so forgive me if I'm a little awkward. No background music. I'm out in the country, so what I'm working on right now, I'm just working on the legs of the glider. So as I work through this, I may not say anything, but once I get over there to the full size project, then I'll start talking a little bit more. But as of right now, y'all just kind of give me a second to. Well, I could talk through it. So what I just did, I pre-made these bases for the glider. This is all for the frame. Like I said, this was a guy's build plan. I actually should have went and found his name before I started working on this because he did a really good job. I'll make sure and someday soon I'll give him some credit for this because I'm gonna refer to this thing again. Um, I forgot to get an extra 2x4, so I ran out of material. But this is it'll be, after I get to that. Once I get to that point, it'll be a good time for me to just sit down and talk and introduce myself a little bit. Like I said, this is one end of the base of the glider. So let's try to go over here where you can see. Excuse me, mess. I'm literally like a little kid right now, y'all, just kind of outside playing. this is essentially where we're headed. Like I said, I didn't get the build plan, so I don't know how far from the bottom he put that brace that goes across there. I do know that it was centered, so I'm just gonna straight up follow suit with where that line is. I don't know, y'all. This may not work out the way I wanted to, but we're gonna keep it going. This is a freelance kind of carpentry thing, so I don't expect for it to work out perfectly, especially not the first time. This whole process was a little rushed, but I think that's just kind of how I've been doing life. So I'm just gonna roll with it. So like I said, the guy didn't. He said he would mention it in the video about how far that thing was from the bottom. But again, he has build plans for sale, so I don't blame him if he only put that in his plans because nothing's free in this world, you know? So I'm just gonna guess, and I say it's about 2.5 inches from the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna roll with. I have my pencil. And I don't have any microphones or headphones or none of that right now, y'all. So if you get bored, you just want to come back later and see the finished product. But like I said, it won't be finished today. But I got some other stuff over here I want to show y'all that I've been working on. So if you stick around, you'll get to see some stuff. I plan on being on live for, honestly, until the sun goes down. Because, you know, life is teaching me that I've been real fearful. I've been real passive. I've been... let's just say it like this. I'm a believer, you know. Jesus is my savior. I'm a Christian, you know. So I just don't want these things that God has put on my heart to be taken away. So I got to get to that point of just doing it, you know. So as I seem like I'm all over the place, if you go back and look at my profile, you can see that I have a wide variety of things that I'm doing. And oh, everybody left, so I'll just hold off from talking and just keep going. We're not afraid. Hello, one person. So I'm gonna use this clamp just to hold this board up while I get everything situated. I am not a perfect carpenter by any means. If you see any safety or PPE issues, please understand that I really don't care. Oh, I could just use boards. I got a bunch of cedar boards down here. Hello, how y'all doing? That's really close to what I want, but I need to get it a little bit lower. And as you can see, I'm not working on a flat surface, so this is going to be a little challenge. Oh, everybody's gone. Oh. video, the guy I modeled this from, he used lags, so I'm just gonna use these screws for now, just to hold it all together as I work through it. Okay, so we got one in there. Let's get our square, because we don't want to just be putting stuff together that's uneven. So the first screw we put in there was a little off. So I'm gonna work it this way. Well, I'm gonna need to bring that a little bit closer and drop the camera down. Because I don't know what it sounds like. Like I said, I'm gonna go back and put lags in here at the end of all this, but as of right now, I'm running low on a few different things, so we're gonna just roll with it with that one. Those few screws for now. Alright, so okay, so that came out exactly 2 inches from the bottom. Let's say 4 7/8 to the center from that side. Eyeballing it was pretty close. Spiders be tripping out here, bro. They just jump on your leg. No, bro. It's a spider over here gonna keep crawling over. I don't want to, put him out of his misery, but actually tripping right now. That was not good. I missed that one. Okay. So that's that. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This is all the material for this. But unfortunately, I'm missing one piece that is 77 and a half. So I can't really do anything else. I mean, I can go ahead and put these other two. Why is there? Oh, there's 10 of those. So I'll put another two 27-inch pieces across the top of this. This is going to be that how we can finish this off. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do these. Forgot about that part. I do not remember if he had these staggered or not. Well, it can't be staggered because, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and go straight down the pipe. Now, these are supposed to be in alignment, but we all know sometimes we can't cut. So where are my manners? I'm supposed to be drilling pilot holes in this stuff. Gotta work. Oh, I got a comment. How do I respond? What am I talking about? I'm so stupid. Bro. Bro, gonna talk about what am I gotta pay attention a little better. We're gonna get better at this. Like how I talk. Bro, you don't need to text. You're talking a lot, bro. What are you doing this? turn on music. There it is. Hello, mama. I forgot some material, so I can't finish this thing, but at least I can start uh, just demonstrating what it is. This is going to be a glider swing set for Lloyd and Teosha, the Turners, my brother and his wife. Can you hear me clearly when I'm talking? I guess not. Can you hear me talking? Nope. These mosquitoes are swarming like crazy right now. My smoke is over there behind me. I guess I should work a little closer to that next time. But goodness gracious. And unfortunately, that's essentially all I can do. What's up, Millie? That's all I can do right now. Um, I needed to have another board at 77 and a half, but of course I was trying to be cheap, so I chose not to grab that extra board, and I forgot that I needed it. So it is what it is. At this point, this is all I have. No, I can go ahead and do the boats. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna run in the house and get the hardware. And we back. All right. Let's see, man, bro. Got to, man. You know how it is right now, how my schedule is, and got my babies, so I got to go live from this point on, you know. But like I was saying before, this right here is going to be a swing. This is just the foundation. This is going to be a goodness, I just had a brain fart. A glider, not necessarily a swing, but it's going to be a glider. You'll see. I'm gonna put my here. I'm gonna just hang this chain right here. Actually, I just put it up there out of the way so I won't forget about it. But, got all these eye bolts. All these things here, we're about to use these to construct the part for the chains. That way, once I do finally get all my material I need for the base of it, I will be able to attach everything with no problem. So here we go with this part. Hello, hello. One more new person in there. Like these things are fun to me first and foremost, but man, it pays. You know, once you get your name out there and enough people see what you can do, and you don't spend so much time trying to get noticed versus, just getting on here and just working. Right now my main thing is I just need to get some traction. I need to get some buzz going around what I'm doing. I'm running those raffles and stuff like that, and it's just a way for me to get my work out there as far as I can. I used to be really, really, really passive about my social media presence, although I did get a lot of followers and a lot of people to just kind of, most of the people that are my followers on socials like Instagram, Facebook, most of them I know them all personally. 1,600 and some people, you would think like, oh, you don't know them people, but if I'm following them, then I know them personally most of the time. Or few, give or take a few different famous people. But I've been to a lot of places. I was in 4-H, FFA, and a lot of different things when I was young. So I made some relationships, and those things stuck. You know how social media works. We had just hit the age of Instagram when I was a senior or junior in high school, and Snapchat and all that. So everybody was just like, hey, bro, add me on this, add me on that. We were at the 4-H camp and FFA convention way out in D.C. And me and all those people, I had met a bunch of people from all over the country, when I did that. And I was young back then. So all these people we just still watch each other's lives every day, I guess. Just watch each other. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Social media has been kind of tough for me just because I struggle with knowing that people purposely, anyway, let's not even get on that. Let's go back to work here. Yeah. So I just got my drill bit that we're going to pre-drill for these eye bolts. Try to keep everything in my pocket so I won't lose nothing. Okay, so the very bottom one eventually will be cut so that I can get the chain in there. As you can see, these are closed, but I'm gonna cut it on the opposite side, the downside, to where once it is screwed in there, then it'll only pull up. And we didn't get the hooks because they don't come that far down. I chose to get these because it's all the way enclosed. So once I do go in and cut it with my grinder, I'm only gonna cut out enough for this to slide through there versus those U-bolts or the hook eyes. They come about ½ inch already cut off. So it's usually not that good if you need something to be pulling on it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. All right. So this part, I didn't watch the whole video to get down to all of this because my main thing was I just need to see how to get started. The fun in all of this for me has been kind of freelancing and figuring it out as I go. So I'll show y'all some stuff later once we got more people in here. No shade to the people that are already here, but I don't want to just have to go in and talk about all that kind of stuff over again. But most of the time I just freelance. Once I get a foundation, I'll find a build plan and take the base of what they had, and I'll just kind of customize and do my own thing. It keeps it fun. I really have this thing where I can't do the same thing over and over again, which is why I ended up back in the entrepreneur world because my spirit is not being fed when I'm doing the exact same thing every single day, So a lot of people ask me, man, you're struggling, why won't you just go and get a job? I'm like, first of all, I have children and I spend a lot of time with my daughters, so I don't want to commit to some job where I cannot just go and freely be with my kids. Of course, that sounds good, but this is a part of the process of me creating this work from home life for me and my family. I'm gonna start doing all this social media stuff and not really. I'm gonna say this. I used to feel like going live and stuff like this was like tap dancing to get attention or whatever, but the more I kind of start watching other people and realizing, bro, this is just an easy way to make money. I mean, literally, you can just get over here and talk, enjoy what you're doing and explain to everybody the process, whether people listen or not, don't matter. The system, the YouTube algorithm is it's running your stuff. You know, you're being exposed whether you see it or not immediately. So I took for granted a lot of this stuff, but as I said earlier in the video, I can't allow all my gifts and talents that God has bestowed upon me. I can't allow those things to be taken away. So at this point today, I'm going to be doing a whole lot. And a lot of people might say, "Oh, you're doing too much and this and all that." I don't care. I'm just doing what my spirit is calling me to do at this point. And might be because I'm about to turn 30 though, y'all. I'm knocking at 30. I'll be 30 in October, so that might be what it is. My voice getting a little deeper. I don't know. So yeah, back to what I was doing. I'm gonna just screw these in, drill these in down here. Here, I'm gonna see if I can help y'all down here. I got this tripod from. I wonder, can I edit these lives and then like use this for content? I'm gonna be real. I don't really know. I've been watching a lot of stuff, not just like lives on YouTube. I don't know. Because I saw somebody earlier, they posted a live and then they screenshot some of it. So I don't know. If I can edit these videos, I'll definitely refurbish this stuff for TikTok. Because I have a lot of tools and some things that I buy from TikTok that, I mean, it don't hurt to have that on my hands, you know, when I'm doing these videos, right? Free marketing. So, I don't know how I got on all that. But back to what I was trying to do. Attention span of a 7-year-old, but not even a 7-year-old. It's just like, can y'all hear me clearly? Melly, you said 100, so I don't know. Can you really hear me? Give me a second. Can you hear me? Okay, so of course we know these are 3.5. Divide 3.5 by 2. You got 1 3/4. So this needs to be at 1 3/4 in the center of this board. As far as the distance back, I have a 6-inch piece down here at the base below this frame board. So I'm just gonna meet that in the middle. So I need that to be 3 inches back from that spot. So it's just dead center of each board. So 3 inches is there, and then from this side, 1 3/4 is there. And unfortunately, I do not like that spot. So I'm just gonna take it back just a little bit to where it looks like it'll be safe. Like I said before, I am not a perfectionist. Okay, bet. I'm not a perfectionist, so when I do these projects, the more free-handed they happen, the more unique they look when I finish them. You know, that it's not saying that, oh, I shouldn't kind of measure stuff or make everything perfect, but that's just not my style. Everything I've ever done in life, although people might have felt like I was striving for perfection, I just always strive for freedom, you know. So anytime I do anything, I give myself enough peace and enough, just enough freedom while I'm doing it to say, hey, no matter what happens at the result of what I'm doing, I've given all I got and I've enjoyed it, you know. So no matter how many times I've fallen or done something that I didn't feel like was up to par, I still enjoyed the process, even if it was just some extreme labor. Just because I'm just wired to challenge myself. You know, a lot of us in this world, we're just created to never, never get comfortable, and that's a blessing and a curse. Because I've had some good jobs, passed up some real good opportunities in life because my spirit just wants to be free. So we'll see how these things turn out. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and put this boat in here. So we said 1 3/4 because we're gonna split that in half. And like I said, I just want to put this more in a safe spot than anything, not so much on any edge. All right, and he was saying something. Oh, he was talking about the top one. So in the video, he was talking about how these are just 1.5 inches. So you got to be mindful of not screwing that all the way through. And I mean, again, for me, if it ends up screwing all the way through, I just get my grounder and chop it off. You know, and it just gives it just this little, it'll be a flat pin up there. You know, it just makes it look unique. Like I said, perfection is just, it's just, I don't like it at all, you know. Whenever I feel myself trying to be too perfect, I always just kind of shut up for a while. Because the more I grow and the more I learn about my faith, like, I would have never become this person if I had not learned all the things I've learned, if I had not dropped out of college, you know, if I had not done so much that I thought was bad at the time, I would never be this person, you know. So the Lord has a funny way of allowing us to be free because whether we think we're getting over or not, He still knows, you know. So all of your growth and all these things that you go through in life, it usually stems from something the Lord just wants you to figure out about yourself. Not so much out, not so much about life, but about you. Because I can spend so much time studying, observing every other person, but as I step back and look, I'm like, bro, my story is not like anybody's I've ever heard of. So how can I use these people as references, or how can I use these people as even inspiration? You know, because I don't know if everybody's that hungry about their dreams. You know, not so much of just providing and just becoming rich, but there's things that I'm passionate about that I will do before I leave this earth, and it just scares me that I don't feel like everybody has that same passion or drive for life. And I mean, does that mean I'm right or wrong? No, it's just difference in thinking. And I mean, I guess it just comes down to me realizing that the Lord made us all unique for a reason. If we all had the same drive and the same ambition, it would be a World War III. Well, not speak on that, but it'll be World War IV essentially, just because so many people will be competing against each other versus just existing. So I guess all of our personalities and everything, by default, they're meant to be that way, you know. So if you find yourself being a little passive at times, that passivity may result in something great one day further down the line. Of course, you'll realize that passivity may be holding you back, but at the same time, how the Lord works, if He delayed it, it was for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to keep working and always have faith. A lot of times, in life, of my life, I'll say I'm not a generalizer. I speak from experience. I speak from my own testimony. So I don't necessarily make general statements when I talk about life. But I don't even know where I was going with that. I got lightheaded when I stood up. Give me a second. I don't know where I went with all that. Let's go back to the work. Yeah. So I got this thing here at 1 3/4 from either side because it's supposed to be dead center. And then from the outside, I don't know where it landed. No, not that. I'm talking about from this outside edge. But wow, shows how good of a cut the bottom one is. This is 6 inches exactly. But here we go. It landed. I'm not gonna. If you ever use a speed square, I'll show you in a second. But these things don't really have good numbering or anything on them. So if I use these to mark something, I'm just gonna write on it. Literally put me a little mark on there until I can see where I'm going. Because other than that, I mean, all these little lines, of course, you can just break them down in fractions. But we got that kind of time right now. We ain't doing that. So here we go. Let's drop down a little bit. Get over here on this side. So I know that's how far I want it from that point in the center. So here's that line, and then we'll go and find our 1 3/4. Right about here. So then boom, there's our center point again, real quick and easy. Don't know how far I need those, but as you can see, there's another 2x4 underneath that one. So this is essentially 3.5. So, well, essentially 3 inches, because these 2x4s, the nominal depth of them sucks. So yeah, it's supposed to be 2 inches, but it's only 3, because they at the lumber yards they always rough cut it to 2x4s, and then they make it a little bit thinner. I don't know why, but some of my builds that I do specifically go through and rip down all my boards instead of buying 2x4s. Although this project was just a little too much. If I'd have bought all 2x6s for this one, it would have been rough. Of course, I'm trying to start doing deposits from my customers, because I mean it's just too expensive right now for me to just invest in everything myself. So if you do want something done, or know somebody who wants something done, please let them know that a deposit is not so much to pay me, it's just to get the material to build what you've asked for. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's one of them things I had to learn to start saying. I'll say, me as an entrepreneur, I think this is, of course, entrepreneurship is probably the only way I can get out of this. But the Lord is teaching me that I gotta stop being a yes man so much. You know, I gotta stop always trying to do the best I can to make people think, oh, you're a great guy, or you know, oh, he did such a good deal for me on this project. That, bro, you still gotta live. You know, you still gotta eat and survive. So he's teaching me through this carpentry versus say doing a fence. He's teaching me that, hey man, you ain't got no money in your pocket. You gotta ask for something. You know, so we're um, we're working. We're working, and I'm having fun doing it. Stress is optional, in my opinion, because although I do feel stress at times, I'm at a point in life where I can't allow that stress to uh, rub off on my babies. You know, I don't want my daughters to have this temperament or ideology that they have to be so worried all the time. You know, I'm teaching faith over fear. I'll say that, because the more you stress and worry about something, the less likely you're gonna get that thing fixed or finished up, because of the fact that your mindset is focused more on what ain't rather than what could be. You know, what am I looking for? The drill. Oh, my fault. I was looking for the square, but yeah. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. We already got a mark on our square. It's right yonder. So from this center point, it's about 4 and a little bit over a half, and then from the side, we're gonna go inch and 3/4. Did I really say? Yeah, inch and 3/4, because it's I was tripping for a second. Inch and 3/4 because this is 3.5 instead of 4. Uh-oh. Here on this bottom side, I don't know if y'all can see this. This board has a little curve over on it, man. If you don't buy um, prime boards when you go to lumber yard or Home Depot or Lowe's, I shop at Lowe's. I don't shop at Home Depot. Home Depot. But it's so childish, my bad. But I'm saying, like, these boards, the quality of material has diminished heavily. Since I was a kid, I used to always see my grandpa and my daddy and them going to buy boards. I mean, they've been complaining more and more each year. And as I start buying them myself, I realize, yep, they're chipping us. Anything, you know, in this capitalistic world that we live in, if people can shortchange you in some way, they will. So let's get back to the business. I said all that to say I got to use my grinder to cut this screw because it's picking through the board, because they have this little round over edge on here. Let me get close. Get real close and personal with that one. You see this right? You see this right here? It's because they didn't plane the board even. So yeah. But I mean, as I always say, with these kind of builds, I always put a finish on them. I'll either burn them, stain them, whatever, and I'll put a polyurethane coat on it. So that part right there would be damage to somebody who was a perfectionist. But to me, it is character. So once this is stained and or burnt or painted or whatever, that part right there is going to be pretty much the highlight of this end of the board, as will be this thing right here. When I put a bunch of polyurethane in that hole, it's just going to make this thing look like some kind of, you know, prehistoric tree or something like that. I'll show you on this other project I got over here, but just give me a second. I'm gonna put these things in here. Go ahead and measure both so I can drill them at the same time. I'm just excited to be live. I'm gonna be honest. This is my first time growing the guts to go live on any social platform, and I chose YouTube because I feel like YouTube is somewhere you could grow long-term relationships. Not so much of the dopamine, oh, I like what you're doing at this moment kind of people, but people who are just not a fan. I don't like the word fan, but people who are supporters of just who you are versus of what you're doing. Because today I'm doing this, I mean, right now in this moment I'm doing this. A few minutes from now I'll be over there painting some planters, you know, and doing a bunch of different things. Like I said, I'm gonna sit on this live for a while. Don't really know why, man. I ain't got too much time. I got 27% on my phone. But let's go ahead and get these things in here, man. I'm excited. I can start doing this every day now. Melly, you and my mom, and then Sammy. And there was a bunch of people who came in here early, and it shook me up. I ain't even gonna tell no story, y'all. But y'all people that are, who know me personally, that tune into this live, I really appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. I ain't even talking on no sarcastic stuff. Y'all know how many people know me. Y'all know how many people claim to, support me. So as you see me doing these new things, taking these new chances, please understand that I appreciate true, genuine support from people who know me, and I mean, strangers who come along, I'm gonna thank them as much as I thank y'all, but it's different when you see me and you know me, then you come and jump on my live, bro. That means a lot to me, so I thank y'all for that, honestly. Boy, that one almost went perfect on that side. Almost on the count of horseshoes, though. Really just enough to get through this first board, because the second one don't really matter. These eye hooks only got an inch and a half on them, so any extra drilling I'll be doing will just be breaking the integrity of my base on this. So again, like I said, I'm not really trying to blow smoke at all. When I say this, y'all could be doing anything in the world. Could have saw my face and just throw it away, but you chose to sit here and watch me for at least, even if you tuned in and just said, hey, that matters a lot to a person like me, because a lot of people think, oh man, he knows so many people know him, so everybody assume everybody's just running to support me, but it's the total opposite. Everybody see me and they know I know a lot of people. They know I've been a lot of places, so it's nobody wants to support somebody who's everywhere. They don't want to support somebody who essentially does everything. They want to find somebody who's just niche based, just gonna sit around and like when I start producing on live, like people gonna be like, bro, you was just building the other day, and I'll be like, I know, right? It's so cool, but not people where you grow up from. People who you grew up with, they see all that and see their imperfections or their downfalls or their shortcomings. They're not looking at you for inspiration. They're looking at you as somebody who's making them feel bad about what they don't do. You feel me? So I only wish to be inspiration to people. So when you see me, please understand that I'm really nervous out of my mind to do this. Like, get on live ain't my thing. Because one, I used to have an issue with stuttering when I talk on camera. I used to have an issue with cussing too much. That was really the one I was worried about. And then I have an issue with smoking. I just some second out of my mind, not thinking, and just go somewhere and hit a black and mild or something, not realize, bro, you on camera. But then again, it makes me realize, like, is that me not being genuine by not doing that? No, I'm just saying, like, I just choose to do my own thing at my own time. When I'm live, I can just focus on committing to the video and the people that are choosing to be here with me, y'all. I'm thankful, man. I'm telling you. So we're gonna keep screwing these eye bolts in, and unfortunately, I might have to stop this live in a second, because I need to go back to the video that I've been watching so that I can get that guy's name and also shout out his profile, because I saw a lot of comments on his video about him talking too much. And I'm like, now if he would have posted that and never said nothing, everybody would have been mad. But this man went into detail explaining you which socket he was using, what extension he was using. He explained every drill, every saw, everything that he used, so that if anybody goes and watches the process of building this, they can do it. I watched this video. It's like an hour-long video. I watched it one time last night, and I just brushed up on it early, and I'm already in the zone with it. Basically, this is the base of it, and the rest of it, I mean, the hard part is going to be the frame, but I'm really wanting to just freehand it and go for it, but this is an order, so I got to make sure I just settle down and go get the material instead of trying to jump in and do something that may end up not working out, so I don't want to waste material. So I do need to go and get this first one that I build is going to be exactly, well, the base part of it will be exactly like his, except I'm not going to put a storage in the middle. I'm actually going to run a whole seat across this thing. I'm hoping to do that simply because my brother and his wife, they have kids. So I don't want to put this thing out there and it's only got one seat in the middle, or I could do that and then just build something else. But in the beginning, oh no, I sent them the video, so I'm just going to stick with it the way it was, you know. You're thinking out loud, and it happens real fast. So just bear with me when I start talking to myself. Yeah, I'm probably just about to switch gears and go over there to that table I built. It's about to go up for all I need to do is put a little bit more polyurethane on the center of it to give it a little more gloss, and on the sides and everything where I did some patchwork. I didn't, like I said, I don't want it to be perfect, but I did go through that table and that seat over there and patch up cracks that eventually would turn into something bad. But when you're putting polyurethane on stuff, and I finish my projects, so like this thing right here, I didn't talk to my brother about the finish on it, but I'm gonna ask him this evening to see if he wants it burnt or he just wants the raw finish. If he wants it burnt, then that's fine. I like to play with fire. But he yeah, what am I supposed to be doing? Okay, now we're gonna turn this over and we're gonna put these other ones pretty much about the same distance from that end, but we're gonna put them on the bottom because the glider, I keep wanting to say swing, but the glider is gonna sit in between here, and it's gonna literally have these things hanging down and these hanging up. This is gonna be about a 16-inch chain that's attached to this from there and attached from here. So it's literally gonna just be kind of floating on there. It's gonna be real cool when this one gets done. I mean, if I can execute this the way that video did, this could be big for future business, and this could be big just for the people who is going to. You know, my brother and his wife, she's a social media influencer, and he's a big face in the sports community in Brazos Valley. Honestly, he played college ball and everything. So you know, this project will get a lot of exposure no matter what. So I'm definitely gonna make sure I execute on this thing the best as I can and give it as much character and as much originality as I can. My back started hurting. That's why I was standing like that. So yeah, I'm about to flip this thing over so I can put the other ones on bottom. And as you can see, this thing is already pretty heavy. So I may end up finishing this on the outside of the gate so that I don't have the hassle of trying to carry it out of here. Or I may just build them both and then just assemble it once I get to his house. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build it separately. So the base will be done in a few minutes. I got some other pieces that they had on there that I'm gonna cut from cedar. Oh, y'all be able to see me doing that. I'm gonna cut those from cedar and put them on here. It's just like wings that just give it a little more structural integrity. It's gonna be one that's coming across here, and it'll be cut at about a 30-degree angle, just so that this bottom piece has another support stand, and this has something to screw to as well. And it's gonna go, you'll see, it's gonna be one down there too. So I got quite a bit of stuff to do on this, so let's work on it while we still got 23%. We've all been live for almost an hour. This is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I cannot believe this, boy. You would have told me I was going live this morning, I would have been like, cap. Okay. Same thing here. We're gonna just do it from the board. That gives us a little more exact measurements, because that's where we measured it from up here. So we got it at that part, and then we'll do this at 1 3/4 to the center of this board. And that lets us know where it is. So this is the one I was telling you about earlier that I gotta be mindful about the depth, because I don't want to screw through this so it's poking through the top. So let's see if I can handle it. First of all, let's look and see. Well, this don't, yeah. I'm not gonna take that all the way through, of course, but we're gonna see how far this goes from that pilot hole without cracking the board. That's the scary part. If I didn't screw it in enough, the board's still gonna split because it's gonna be trying to push through the bottom, if that makes sense. But it's getting tight already. So I'm wondering. Nope, I think that might have been perfect execution. We can go one more full time. And he did this. He had the guy on the video. He constructed a little jig for this. He made a socket, cut one of his sockets with a grinder, just so he can put it on the end of this. I don't do this enough to waste a socket, so I'm gonna just use one of these and turn it. Because I don't know what bro was on. Like I said, he was real descriptive in his explanation, so might have been why, but. There we go. And let's look. Well, no, I ain't gonna do that because it's bending. Like I said, I didn't put no lags in here yet. Once I do go back and get some more material, I'm gonna put lags through this. I didn't like how the lags looked when he did it, so I may not do that, but we're gonna see how stable it is once I get everything secured with those wings and stuff too. Yeah, this morning was a little different, man. I woke up and just kind of felt defeated. Just because sometimes you feel like you work so hard and nobody paid attention or nobody noticed, you know. And the devil was really winning when I woke up. But as the day progressed and as I talked to the Lord, he made me realize, like, hey man, the hard part is just starting. You know, the easy part is going to be whenever there's a load of work that I need to do, you know. Whenever it's too much work for me to do by myself, that's when life gets easy. But right now, where I'm having to do every single project by myself, round out all of it solo, it really feels like, I don't even know, I ain't gonna say depressing, but it just feels like beating myself to death type of thing, you know, where I'm working so hard and trying to get things so perfect just for a person to not want to pay for a price, you know? So it's a lot for your boy to really do this without feeling like I'm owed something. You know, as much as I like to talk about working so hard, you still feel like people owe you something, you know, and that's not the case. Nobody has to support me, you know, they don't have to. They don't have to show love to nothing I'm doing, you know. And as I grow to learn that, it teaches me how to I don't know, man, just teach me how to be happy and at peace about things that I can't control. Like the next person doing or not doing something, I can't control that. So how am I trip about it, you know? Man, these mosquitoes turn me up though. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. We got that in. We only got two more, which I don't know how the thingamajig's gonna hang. If I only got I don't know. We're gonna see. Like I said, I watched this video twice, and then I just started building. I went to the store, bought all the stuff, and I just started building. So at this point, I kind of got a little gray area on some things, but we ain't worried. We're gonna figure it out. Bro, this tripod is so legit, man. You know how hard this would have been if I was trying to do this live thing. It's something different. I ain't never been live. I don't need no distractions. Throw me off my game, you know. Cause I feel like this is going well. Now that I got something that like tangible I can talk about while I'm live. Cause back in the day I used to want to go live with my music stuff, but it's nothing I can really talk about while I was making music at that point because I was still learning how to make music versus me just jumping in and doing this like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I just want to show y'all what I'm doing, you know? Man, these mosquitoes going crazy right now. I can't even express. I don't know what I'm thinking by just standing here in them, but I'm proud. Hopefully I don't catch what's now. All right. Bro, it's like 30 mosquitoes right here. Okay, everybody's gone. Okay, I can chill. Oh, snap. If I can't edit this is going to be the last thing I say. This is a shout out to my last two followers that got me to the point where I could go live. Marie, I don't know your last name, but you know who you are. Marie and Micah. Marie is a friend of mine. She's a friend of a friend. Well, we're all friends, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna explain all the details, but I thank you for just clicking subscribe. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I had to ask out loud. I said, hey y'all, I need 2 more subscribers to go live. And Marie was like, I'll follow you. You know, I appreciate that. So this shout out right now is to Marie. And then there's Micah, one of my old co-workers, man. My boy, this is a representation of that relationship, that friendship. These are paracord crosses that he makes himself, and I have 2 of. I had 2 of a year and a half maybe. It's made of paracord. It's got my favorite color in there, and it's a cross. It's a way for me to represent the kingdom without all that bling. You know, a lot of people want to put cross on with all that gold and everything, but that ain't me. I want to show people that my cross is made of cord. It's made of something that keeps me, reminds me to stay low. You know. So again, shout out to Micah and Marie. Y'all are the reason I can do this. Of course, there's 48 other people who got me there, yes, but I'm just giving a shout out to those last 2 at this moment. You know what I'm saying? So no shade to anybody who followed me before that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying these last 2 were hard to get. I mean, literally, it took like 6 months for these last 2 subscribers to tap on. And Micah saw a post on my snap, and he was like, bro, why you didn't just say something, you know? And then, like I said, Marie heard me talking about it amongst friends, a group of friends, that I just needed 2 more subscribers, and nobody in the room said anything but Marie, you know? So I appreciate you so much, young lady, and you as well, Micah. So I don't know how awkward this might be to anybody that might tap into this video, but I'm gonna say a quick prayer as I close. Father God, I just thank you for this day. There has been a lot of things that I've been learning today, a lot of things that I've seen and felt in the spirit, Lord, but you kept me grounded, you kept me home, and you made me focus on the things that you need me to do, something tangible, something that will develop for my family, Lord. So I'm just giving prayer right now in public, just a public prayer, just to show people that, hey, y'all, we can talk to the Lord. He's there for us, and he allows us to go through things so we can grow through things. So, Father, I just thank you. I love you, and I praise you. In your son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Y'all have a good day. How do I end this without feeling awkward?